2-on-2. Bernard going to take it. Oh, Mathurin with one of the best blocks of the season.
Ever. Lane right in for the layup. Good read.
When you see those deflect, there you go. There's the deflections.
Terrell Brown Jr. Ingram on his hip, and Brown lays it in.
Swatted off the glass by Coloco. Good hustle, though, by Kyer to get it back. Rejected on a play, though, by Watson. That brought the house down.
We have seen some good defensive plays and a lot by that young man right there, Christian Coloco, leading the Pac-12 in block shots, 74 on the year, almost twice as many as anyone else in the league. 6 double-doubles this season. You can make the case he's the most improved player of the year and the defensive player of the year. And Jordan Kent is a guy who knows a good defender when he sees. As long as you play some good defense.
A little bit every once in a while.
Just a little bit. But a lot of good guys on that end of the floor when you look around the league this year. So who stands out to you? When you've called all these teams, you've seen a lot of these guys in person, who really stands out to you on that end of the floor?
Well, it starts with Coloco. Let's look at what he does on the defensive end of the floor with his ability to block so many shots. When you have a rim protector like Coloco, it's more than just the results of the ball swatted into the stands. Every time somebody drives into the lane, they're thinking about Coloco. What makes him so good is that he's always in position. You foul when you're out of position. You foul when you're late to rotate. But because he's in position and he can close ground so quickly, it allows him to then use his instincts to block so many shots. And that's what's impressive to me, that this Arizona team can play with so much pace and he exerts so much energy, yet is always in the right positioning. And then if you look at another big that makes a huge impact, it's Frank Kepnong for Oregon. We've called a couple of their games, and looking at what Oregon needs from their front court, this is a smaller lineup. They roll the 3 guards out there. They desperately need rim protection. He's not necessarily a Jordan Bell from years past, but what Frank will do is he'll hustle back in transition. We've seen so many games where big men get beat getting back down the floor and teams get easy looks. That's not going to happen against Frank. He understands that when he gets onto the floor, he has to provide energy for this Oregon team. So it's not just the block shots, it's the charges and the ability to get in position in transition that stand out to me with Frank Kepnong.
And then there's a guard I know that could also be in contention for Pac-12 Player of the Year and Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, Terrell Brown Jr. I love what he does defensively, because for a lot of the zone that Washington does, what makes a great guard defender in zone? Well, it's your ability to read passing lanes, because you're going to be 1 or 2 passes away and making sure, once again, you're not out of position. Zone defenses get broken down when guys are late to rotate or they don't come over far enough. What Brown does is read the passing lanes and has great anticipatory skills. And so he's able to then be one thought ahead of the offense and read those lanes. And for me, you love two-way players that can go score in the other end, but then provide the same amount of effort on the defensive end. And I think he's a huge reason why Washington has really been the biggest surprise in the conference this year.
Yeah, it's amazing to think that he could become the first player in the Pac-12 to lead the league in scoring and steals since James Harden. So that's pretty good company there. All right, so who is your front runner? If I had to pin you down and pick one today, who is it?
It's hard, but I go with Coloco. Just what he does for this Arizona team and what he means for their entire defense. They lead the conference in block shots, and the reason is they have him. And when you pair their offense and their pace with somebody on the defensive end that can then shut down easy looks in the paint for the opposing team, then you have a formula for a very successful championship basketball team. And when you're getting that leap defensively, you said it, improvement. A lot of people think improvement is just on the offensive end, but really when players start to make strides on defense, that's when coaches have the confidence to put them in the game, and that's when you can see players make an impact every single possession down the floor.
Yeah, 74 blocks, not bad.